When I first heard of the hashtag Team Trees movement pleading everyone to plant 20 million trees in only 2 months to combat climate change, I suddenly got this misanthropic feeling again every time I think about climate change. That since it was the fault of humanity, we all need to die because we're all evil. I voluntarily had a talk with my mom about this, and the whole thing went like this. Back during the Industrial Revolution, humanity didn't know they were destroying the environment, but now that we know about it, we are doing all we can to change it. But that still didn't change the fact that I hated humanity with a passion and needed it to die. But then another thing I was told is that humans aren't the only destructive species on this planet. Locusts, for example, swarm and sweep up lots of plants in their path, rendering them endangered in that area. But then again, other plants might flourish thanks to them anyway. The rising of ocean levels may actually benefit some sea life, especially those that would only be found much deeper than humanity has ever gone, which proves that climate change is only bad for human society. Plants have survived much worse, like the extinction of the dinosaurs. And if plants would survive that, the planet itself would survive climate change, despite what Stephen Hawking would want us to believe. Then, after realizing that all those dead bodies from wishing humanity extinct would contribute even more harm to the environment, I have also realized that it's not just the climate change movement, it's my entire mindset that our mistakes really do define us. When my dad came upstairs to the kitchen where we were having this conversation, he set up a demonstration. He took a spoon out of the drawer and constantly dropped it with the premise that he can't hold on to a spoon. But once he held on to it, it only demonstrates that once it happens, the mistake is no longer there. Another real life example is that he used to be a huge introvert, even around restaurant waiters. He'd be really nervous around them, but now he doesn't hesitate to talk to them about his orders, his life, and he would even tease them from time to time, with them teasing back, of course. The key phrase here is used to. Dad's nervousness around people is used to. Humanity's disregard for the environment is, for the most part, used to. I used to be completely incapable of voluntarily asking my mom to talk to me about problems like this, and would just wait until she suspected something truly wrong. But now that I was able to spark that whole talk all by myself, that alone means that I am capable of change. And being incapable of talking to family about these problems is not a problem that stuck with me for life. Just the fact that I did ask them to talk to me means that I, let alone humanity, can change their beliefs. I may already have known that we can do this, but thinking our mistakes define us is a habit. A habit of mine. A habit that is about as hard to eliminate as me talking to myself and reciting things all the time. And I had that habit since I was very little. Maybe it's humanity's tendency to despise change, because once you get used to something, it's very hard to get rid of that belief. But despite that, change is the thing we need the most out of literally anything else. Unfortunately, because of this lack of ease getting out of this habit, this terrible thought process will strike me again. Even though I already know that change is actually good and we can learn from something, that does not define us in the first place. I will, for some reason, wish death on humanity again because my brain is just used to it. I already made suicide threat videos in the past because I believed the bad things I did made me a bad person who needed to die. But my fans clearly told me that I had potential. And so does humanity, apparently. That is why I urge you all to donate as much money as you can to the movement to plant 20 million trees within 2 months. The fact that so many YouTubers are talking about this in the first place means that our destruction of the environment does not define us as a species. But my brain wants to think it does simply because it's a mistake. So go reach our species' potential and plant yourself some trees.